What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 4 different mining stocks today, crypto mining stocks. We're going to be going over HUT8. It's on the chart right now for Mr. Eddie Barrios. Bitfarms for Andrew Plus, Mara, and CleanSpark for DB. And with that, let's get into this, you guys. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Thank you all so much for the love and support. You guys, I really couldn't ask for a better crowd. You guys are too kind, man. Even when I'm wrong, you're still very supportive people, and I very much appreciate that. And I'm glad that you guys understand, because I can't be right all the time. I can't be wrong all the time. I'm not saying I can't be right all the time as if I'm right all the time. I'm definitely not. It's just, it's inevitable. Any person, no matter how good of a trader or an investor they are, they're going to be wrong. If you're a good trader or a good investor, you're gonna understand that, right? And it seems like a lot of you do. So that's the marks of a good investor, you know, someone who's more or less in control of their emotions. It's not about being right or wrong, because you're gonna be right, you're gonna be wrong. It's not about that. It's about risk management. If you own this, let's say you bought down here, or you bought down here, or you bought here, right? And you think the price is going to go lower, but these are long-term holds that you buy. If they're short-term trades, it's a different thing. But if you're an investor and you're buying for the long term, it doesn't matter if you bought the low or the high. If you're assuming the price is going to go down, you're not going to sell. You're only going to buy more, right? Maybe you assume the price is going to go lower. You didn't get to buy more. It moves up, and you're like, oh, well, I missed my chance. And then it moves down. It didn't go to your original targets, but it moved lower than this. And you're like, hey, I'm going to scoop some up now. You know, if you're patient, opportunities present themselves, and that's what it's about. It's about risk management. It's about, even if you mess it up and you get in at the wrong time, or you get out at the wrong time, you know, even if you mess up. I know I got a lot of lines there. It's about being patient. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being patient and managing that risk. You could hold all, like your whole portfolio could be HUT8, for example, right? And then you're expecting the price to go down here, and it does, but you don't sell, because you never know when it could just continue to go up, right? Maybe you expected the price to go down here, and it just keeps going up, you know, and then it does go down, like whatever. You don't play the game, because in the beginning of a bull cycle with crypto, especially with mining stocks, we kind of have a roadmap with the time frame of this stuff. You don't play the game. We're before the halving. We have so much time, you guys, before things go on. If you're not involved, if you have no money in crypto at all, that's not good right now, man. That's really not good. I know I've been calling for lower prices with a lot of these mining stocks, with a lot of cryptos, but also, you know, from my vantage point, I am predominantly in crypto. Like 90 to 95% of my total value is in crypto, right? Besides, like, the things that I cherish more than money itself, all the money that I have to my family's name, we are in crypto right now, except for a small bit, which I would like to put more in if it goes down. But hey, I was wrong about the prices not going down. It's not going to hurt me. I can buy if it moves up. I can buy on the next pullback, buy at higher prices. But still, it's not in me to chase things. It's not in me when things are still necessarily uncertain for some of these things to buy. What I'm trying to say, again, all that to wrap it up, is it's not about being right or wrong. It's about risk management. And if you're investing for the long term, risk management can be simple in the sense of you find a project you like, you buy it, and you hold it for a long time. Don't play the game, because you can be wrong, and you will be wrong. Absolutely you will. Nobody is smarter than the market. Maybe you are at times, but not forever, man. And maybe those at times where you're smarter, you can call that luck, right? And that's why I really try not to brag when I'm right, because it almost is like luck. Like, don't get me wrong, technical analysis has an effect on that, but there's also probabilities that you can be wrong. Even with technical analysis is not a certainty, it's a probability. And man, this is going on too long. Let's get into the TA. I'm sorry I went on that whole tangent, but it all started from me saying thank you guys for being such an understanding crowd. You know, it shows, in my opinion, it shows a lot of maturity as far as investing and trading goes from your guys' standpoint. So I'm grateful to have you guys, you kind of people watching my videos. I'm very grateful. Low to high. And what do you mean, you kind of people? I mean you, the people who are freaking awesome out there. Low to high. 618 to 69, found support there. You found a little bit of resistance at your 0.5, sure. You've got lower lows on your RSI, lower lows in price. Oh, that's a higher low, actually. And really what you did was you bounced off your, not your 40, your 35, still, whatever. You could go lower. You could. Maybe you go up higher first, and then you go lower. It is possible. You're kind of in a phase of accumulation on this weekly, so I would assume as long as you're in this box, you're going to remain in this box, right? You're at the lower ends right now. You're kind of at the midpoint, so you could go up from here and get ready to break. That is possible, but odds are you'll probably be in this box for a little while. So it's kind of hard to say. You know, I would think you do go up from here with the rest of crypto. So what, you had a little day that pulled back right now. You know, it's still early in the week. I think you do continue to move up. Let's see. Top to bottom. 382, found support on your 236 potentially. If you can get above this 382 at $9.38, you can close a day. Closing a day, that's the important part. To close a day above $9.38, likely we will see prices at $12.13 to $13.12 in a very short amount of time. And if you can close prices above this range here, like really above the 618 at $12.14, you're green lighted for prices up here at $24 to $36. That's still a ways away. Let's see how you do with this, but I like it. It looks good. Higher highs, higher lows, higher lows. Looks good. Looks good. That's HUT 8. I do think it wants to go higher, at least to $12.14, if not the 13.15 area, right? 13, what is that? 13.10, 13.13, somewhere in that area. Yeah, and then potentially higher than that. But let's see how you react when you get there first. Bitfarms. Let's see. Oh, and Mr. EKDT1, you also requested. Oh no, you didn't. I'm sorry. He requested a different one. That's for a different video. My bad. I got everybody. I gave shout outs to everybody who did these requests. Lower highs, yes, for now. You are overbought. You are showing strength. You absolutely could continue to move up, but until you move up above, let's see. You're already above your 618. Until you move up above this 886, you close above 331. It's not completely 100% that you're going to go here, though I would expect you to. I think Bitcoin's going to continue to move up. Therefore, I think this is as well. I think you will see prices at 422 to 525 over the coming week to 2 weeks from now, maybe even 3 weeks from now. But until the price closes above $3.31, there is a possibility you could go lower. Now, I think if you were to go lower, maybe you come up here and you reject it. And again, closing above 331. Not getting above. You could get above one day and then come back down and close below it. You want to close above 331. If you reject it from here, you might come back to your 618, which is at 278. You're at $3 now, so that's a little bit of a discount. You might come all the way back to your 382 and still form somewhat of like a higher low pattern. I very much doubt that you go below these lows right now. I think that's off the table. But lower prices are still on the table from here. You're at $3. You absolutely could go below 250 still. And if you go below like 242 on a closing basis, there might be price targets below $1.90. You might go to that dollar area that we were looking for originally, or what it would be at least like $1.30 actually. My bad for this thing, but you might not. You really might not. So until then, until proven otherwise, I would think that you're going up to 422 to 525 in a very short amount of time, but we don't have the confirmation on that yet. The last kind of piece to fall in line would be closing above $3.31. So look for that on a day, closing above it, not moving above it, closing above it, and that will all but certainly give you prices above $4, potentially even above $5. So that's Bitfarms. Looking good for sure. Marathon. Man, Marathon I think is a beast, guys. I really think this thing's going to do well. Same thing here, same exact thing as Bitfarms, right? It looks very similar even. Close above that 886, close above 2870, and we can talk about these prices. I do assume you're going to go there. I do. But until you close above that 886, there is a possibility you could go lower. And if you go lower, that possibility, I don't mean lower than these lows, I just mean lower than where you are now, probably down to around like 1966, if not at a, maybe go to 2123, or at a minimum 2340. That's where your 618 is. You don't have to go to any of these lines. You could go in between them. They're just ideas, right? But if you were to close a day below 1955, really if you close a day below like 1860, I would think you're in jeopardy of seeing a lower low than this. And I say in jeopardy, I'm sure a lot of you'd be licking your chops, man, looking to buy at lower prices. But as of right now, those lower prices are taken off the table. Lower prices than here, not really, but lower prices than this, probably. So let's just see how the week closes, how things go. Let's see how you react to this 886. And yeah, look for that. Look for that close above 28.70. Again, a close, not price moving above it. That's my genuine opinion with Marathon. CleanSpark here, CLSK, looking good as well. Volume's dying off a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, you're not really doing much. You're being boring, so volume's going to die off, but it's still way above average. Top to bottom, you hit your 1272 twice. You could move to your 886. Here you're above your 886 already, right? So maybe instead of breaking above it, maybe you come back to it, find support on it at about 1250, and then you move up higher. You know, you hit a regular extension already, pulling back to your 886, and this time you don't have to close at it. You could just touch it, tip it, and then move up. That's a very common maneuver. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do continue to move up like this. You know, your RSI, you are pretty overbought right now. So it wouldn't be crazy to pull back a little bit, take a little breather, come back to the overbought zone itself, which is still hot, and then bounce over, you know, like something like that. Get some bearish divergence forming, and then maybe see a prolonged kind of phase of consolidation, and then you move up more. You might not stop directly at 21.18. You do like to go a little bit above these, so you might see prices at like $22 even before you see some kind of pullback. But regardless of what happens, I would expect that CleanSpark, whether it does it now or it does it after this, I would expect that you at least pull back to about $12.50. Here you are right now at $15.90. I would expect you at least pull back to $12.50. Okay, potentially, I say at least because you could potentially pull back to 1160, 1160 something, 1162 maybe, 1161. You could pull back to the 786. You could pull back to the 61869 area, which is 1030 to 1084. And ideally, I wouldn't look for you pulling back below that, but as long as you're not closing below it, you could pull back all the way to your 0.5, which is below $10, or even to your 382, which is below $9. That is possible, only because you moved up so quick, man. You do have a gap right there, right below your 0.5 area. So you could move down there. That 382 is a previous area of resistance here, previous area of support. You might find support there and then continue to move up. But that'd be pretty extreme. But it could happen. It could happen. You know, again, lower prices than this that I was expecting for basically until like this day here. They're off the table at this point in time. Charts are charts, man. You got to call it what it is. And if you look at this right here, from this low to this low, I mean, that 61869 area comes in line very well with this. I am hopeful. There is still hope that we will see prices below $10, but I'm not banking on it. I'm more expecting that we will go between this 1030 to 1250 area. You know, as reality is set in for me, I've kind of let that go. I would definitely like to see prices below $10, but I would say 1030 to 1250 is probably where we'll go after we see this move up. And if not, we could see it as early as like right now. That could be, those lower targets could be where we're moving right now, but I kind of doubt it. If we get a day to close below $8.68, then these lower price targets come back on the table. And really, I would even say closing a day below $10.30. Not getting below it, but closing below it would get me excited that we could go lower. But really, the knife in the heart, the dagger in the back, would be this $8.68 level. Close below that, and then it's probably on to the downside, which would be crazy, but it could happen. But really, the only way that it would happen is if Bitcoin were to see some kind of significant retracement, in my opinion, like significant reversal, which I don't think will happen. I don't think it'll happen here. So until then, what I'm thinking is higher prices. If we go down from here, it's going to be higher lows, and then after those higher prices, still I would expect some kind of higher lows. Maybe you come back to your previous areas of resistance here, or just a little bit below it, you know, something like that. But that's CleanSpark, man. That's all I got to say. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you very much. I will see you in the next ones. I got nothing else to say, man. Yeah, I don't know personally if I would buy here for CleanSpark because it is up so high and it could pull back a little bit. I'm just going to be patient. It's not in me. It's not my style to buy on a chase, right? If I was planning to buy here and I'm proven wrong, right, still was optimistic that it could reverse and it just didn't. And maybe that's my fault. You know, I mean, that definitely is my fault. Top to bottom here, you know, you hit your 382.5, found resistance, found support on your 236, and then went back above your 382. That, man, that's classic. That is like classic bullish structure. And then you closed above your 618. Like, all the signs were there. I didn't want to see them because I wanted to buy down here. So even though I didn't get to buy down here, it's not in me to buy up here. It's in me to wait for a little pullback, maybe a little bit more of a pullback, whatever. I don't like to buy. I don't like to chase. I like to wait. Even if I have to buy at higher prices than I originally expected, I don't like to buy on the way up. I like to buy on the way down. That's just how I do it, right? And all in all, CleanSpark's on its way up, man. It's absolutely on its way up. But if we look at this thing for what it is, maybe even like this, you're kind of like at the top of this trend line, right? Like you're kind of right at it. So pulling back from here might happen. You know, it really could happen this week. It did run away. It did grow the most out of all of these. So seeing a little break wouldn't be crazy at all. These stocks are pretty correlated with Bitcoin, but you can see Bitcoin grow and crypto stocks drop, right? If Bitcoin were to drop, that doesn't necessarily mean these stocks are going to go down, but normally that is what happens. But I don't know. That's just sharing some thoughts. So I do expect that we'll see a pullback soon. If not from here, maybe from a little bit higher, but that's all I got. So if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.